The Sharks win 2-0 against the Vegas Golden Knights in Vegas. William Eklund continues to show why he is worthy of being in the NHL. And Kaapo Kahkonen looks like we might be getting a bounce back season. So all that and more on today's episode of Locked On Sharks.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, contributor at Inside the Rink, and I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly a part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day, and if you want to be an everyday, all you got to do just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can subscribe on YouTube as well, or do both. Both is great. And the Sharks win 2-0. In Vegas. Perfect night. It's the exact night you want, right? Beating Vegas, but the points don't matter because we're still in the preseason, and the future is bright. You just got to see a little bit of the future tonight with the kid line of William Eklund, Thomas Bordeleau, and Quinten Musty. And Sharks fans, it is going to be dark this season, but you can see what Mike Grier is building here with Eklund and with Bordeleau and Musty, and just wait till Will Smith arrives and whoever the Sharks pick in this. Like, the future is bright for the Sharks. I think Eklund tonight solidified his roster spot on the opening night roster. I don't know how you can look at the rest of the forwards that are still potentially, potential opening night roster players and say William Eklund isn't one of the 12 best forwards on this team. Everything you want him to do, right? That setup, that assist to Bordeleau, that is why you draft William Eklund, because there's who else on this team is making that play? Barabanov, maybe? Like, that is what he does. It's so special. His ability to create space, win puck battles on the boards. And he's not the biggest dude, right? But he's got the shiftiness. He's got the quickness. He can outthink you, and he knows where all of his teammates are at all times. His ability to scan and read the ice, he just outthinks his opponent and makes them look silly. And Bordeleau, it's amazing how Bordeleau has 2 awesome goals against Vegas, and none of them count because one was a shootout and then one was in the preseason. But poor Thomas Bordeleau needs to get an NHL goal at some point here soon. But this is what you've been waiting for. This is why you drafted William Eklund, is stuff like that he can just make. He can make his teammates better, right? Driving the line, that was my little bit of a worry tonight, was with the Eklund, Bordeleau, Musty line. Who was going to drive that line? And Eklund stepped up. We'll get into what the numbers say, but that line was by far the Sharks' best line tonight. When we get to the numbers of what this line did, just absolutely dominance from this line. And I know Vegas, your Mark Stones, your Eichels, like, those aren't out there. You got to play who's in front of you. And William Eklund showed why he needs to be on this team come opening night, and he needs to be on this team all season long because he is one of your best forwards. If you can't see that, I can't help you at this point. So, but Musty, I thought he looked good. He set a tone very early of coming out. Probably was a boarding penalty. First shift of the game, comes out and hits a dude. Wasn't afraid of the physicality. You saw some of the nice hands. especially I think as the game kind of got along, he got a little bit more comfortable, which is to be expected, right? Remember, he's 18, playing in his first, NHL type of game. But his ability to jump into the rush, he had a great shift, one of the shifts where he gets on the ice. Barabanov's got the puck. Barabanov kind of pulls up in his little spot, right in the circle there, finds Musty streaking down. Musty gets a shot off. Then Musty is able to kind of work with Bordeleau in kind of keep the puck in the zone. Musty, he threads the needle kind of right along the blue line and then takes it right into, kind of starts to attack. He passes to Bordeleau, gets a little handcuffed on it, but like that type of play of Musty, just like that attack mentality. Man, once he figures it out, dude, like the sky's the limit for Musty, and I am fully prepared for Musty to be a dude, just a freaking monster for the Sharks. Not going to happen today, not going to happen tomorrow, but Musty is going to be a monster, an absolute. I've said it before. I'll keep saying it. Once this dude puts it all together, he is going to be an absolute monster for the Sharks. Like Timo Meier, just reckless attacking. I'm just bigger, faster, more physical than you. That is what you're getting in Quinten Musty. I know it's a very lofty comparison with Timo Meier, but that's what I see. That's just a dude who just will not be denied. So, and Bordeleau played well tonight, kind of doing. You saw a little bit more physicality, kind of being that little bit of a glue guy on the line of whatever you need me to do, right? You need me to go forecheck? I'm going to be an aggressive forechecker. How many times did you see Bordeleau being kind of the first forechecker and throw, again, not the biggest dude, but kind of making his presence known physically? Had a great goal, was able to find some open space while Eklund did Eklund did all the work on that goal, and Bordeleau knows that first thing he did was point to Eklund, but that's that chemistry these two have been building last year. And it all depends on Couture. Again, I talked about the other day where if Couture isn't skating by Thursday, I don't think Couture is playing to start the season, and then you can kind of go from there with him. But Granlund still kind of, hasn't kind of really gotten back into the groove of things. Again, we are a little over a week out, but he is skating and kind of practicing a little bit. But I think right now they want to see what Bordeleau can do. And I think Bordeleau is going to be on the team opening night because I think the Couture injury is going to kind of facilitate to Bordeleau to be on the team's opening night. So some of the other guys, Thrun, we saw Thrun. I thought Thrun did some great stuff defensively. A shift I highlighted on Twitter where he's taking a rush, right, is able to kind of force his guy to the outside. Does the forward kind of does a little spin move, runs right on top of him and pushes him up against the wall. And as soon as the forward tries to pass, Thrun gets his stick in there, makes the pass become a bad pass that goes out of the zone. Sharks are able to clear the zone, like stuff like that, where Thrun just the IQ and his ability, like again, knows when to kind of attack, when to lay off. Like you're got to be feeling super good about the Sharks' future. So, and then Emberson, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about Emberson. I can see why the Sharks claimed him, right? You saw the defensive effort, as the kids say, that he's got that dog in him. He's that kind of defensively attack zone. You have to, if you're a guy like Gavanka or Shimmick or some of these kind of bubble guys, you got to be a little worrisome that this guy's just going to come in and take your job. And, when I did my preview of the lines or what I thought they would be, I had Emberson trying to go through waivers to go to the Barracuda. I don't know if you're going to be able to sneak him through waivers. We will see. I wouldn't be surprised. Again, I think there's a lot of other guys I would be more than willing to put on waivers and kind of see what happens. Again, one game, but he's only 23, right? He was the defensive defenseman of the year in the AHL in the Eastern Conference. Like you're getting something with him that you think can translate for you in the future. So, yeah, what a good night. Just seeing the future. I believe the children are our future. The future is bright as hell right now. Before we continue, we're going to look at the numbers. We're going to I know Kaapo Kahkonen had a shutout tonight, and he didn't even make the first segment. So we're going to spend a whole segment at the end talking about Kaapo Kahkonen and kind of what's different with him and why it looks like he might be on his way to having a bounce, setting himself up for success of a bounce back season. Before we get into all that, do need to take a quick little break and talk to you guys about our good friends over at Indeed. When you're drafting your fantasy team, do you ever wish you could do the same thing with your business team? If you're building a roster to win the league, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, hire all in one place. You don't have to spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills. When you can do all that with Indeed, you can find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools with Indeed Instant Match assessments and virtual interviews. You hate waiting? Who likes waiting? Nobody likes waiting. Indeed's U.S. Data shows over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match their job description the moment they sponsor a job. Great thing about them, right? They invite the candidates to apply. So candidates that don't apply are actually, through Instant Match, are 3 times more likely to apply for your job than candidates who only see it in a search, according to US Indeed data. So you're finding people who are perfect for your job and telling them to come work for you. So Indeed knows when you're growing your own business, you need to make every dollar count. That's why with Indeed, you only pay for quality applicants that match your must-have job requirements. So they know finding people with the right skills makes all the difference you need when hiring a team of one. Visit Indeed.com/lockedon to start hiring. Again, go to Indeed.com/lockedon. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application. Pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed. And guys, hockey season's next week. Locked On has put together the ultimate season preview for the Western Conference. You can find the episode available on Wednesday on this podcast feed. I discuss if I think the Sharks are going to be the worst team in the NHL and give you who I think is the Sharks breakout player. And no, it is not William Eklund. So make sure you guys are checking out wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. So what did the numbers say for this game? Before that, who played in this game? So we will start with the Sharks roster, of course. You had Zadina, Sturm, Barabanov, Eklund, Bordeleau, Musty, Lindblom, Peterson, Zetterlund on the all-Swede line, Giovanni Smith, Ryan Carpenter, and Josh Bailey. Thrun and Burroughs, Knizhov, Gavanke, McDonald and Emberson, and then Kaapo Kahkonen went the distance tonight. For the Vegas Golden Knights, Carrier, Kolesar, Cotter, Frost, Komatois, Dorofev, Queenie, Brisson, Morelli, Dimick, Rempal, Hutton, Pachal, Cormier, Korjak, Ahak, Bishop, and then Hill and Thompson both split the net. The Sharks were very good in this game. 5-on-5. Shot attempts 50-26 in favor of the Sharks. Dominated pace of play. Shots on goal, again, 5-on-5, 25-12. Scoring chances 30-13 in favor of the Sharks. High danger chances 10-9. So give Vegas a little bit of credit there. When they did get opportunities, they made the most of them. Expected goals for, again, 5-on-5, 2.51 to 1.45. Sharks kind of took it to Vegas tonight. And again, I know I read that roster, right? You guys all heard the roster. But how did the lines look? So, did a pretty good job of, kind of distributing the minutes pretty evenly, especially since you had a lead for a good majority of this game. Quinten Musty, Thomas Bordeleau, William Eklund played 840 time on ice together. 11 shot attempts, 4 gave up 5, 7 shots on goal, gave up 2, did have the 1 goal. Expected goals for 0.39 to 0.24 for expected goals against, 6 scoring chances to 3, 1-1 on high danger chances, 4 rush attempts, 4, and pretty even zone distributions, 3-2-3 for the old zone starts there. Barabanov, Sturm, Zadina played the next most at 801. 9 shot attempts for, 5 against. And again, you would expect this. This is an NHL. These are all NHL players. Barabanov just looks like he's going to have just another fantastic year. And we're going to talk Barabanov at some point, either this week or next week, on what the Sharks should do with him. But 3-2 shot attempts for, against. Expected goals for 0.24, 0.03, so they shut it down. Defensively, 5 scoring chances, gave up 0, 3 high danger chances, gave up 0, and then 4-3-5 for the zone starts. Giovanni Smith, Ryan Carpenter, and Justin Bailey, 10 shot attempts, 4, gave up 7. Actual shots was 3-3. Giovanni Smith is such a frustrating player because you can see it, right? It's like every time he makes a great decision and makes a great play, he turns around and makes a really dumb play. Right tonight, like, had some great looks and opportunities in the offensive zone. Bad penalty, right? The interference play, you're way behind the puck. You don't need to finish that check, right? Just skate. You just have to skate. The little brouhaha at the end, like where he gets a bunch of minutes and doesn't get to come back into the game. Just dumb stuff like that. And it's, again, he made some great plays, made some great stuff, but it's just every time he does something great, he just does something dumb. And it's frustrating to watch. Ryan Carpenter, you know exactly what you get in Ryan Carpenter. Justin Bailey, he needs a contract. I would personally give him an AHL only deal. And then if you need to bring him up, you can sign him to an NHL deal at any point of the season, and try to pass him through waivers in the middle of the season, whatever you need to do. That's what I would do. I think Bailey's a nice piece to have in this season in your organization, just in case you need kind of a break glass in case of emergency. If your forwards get beat up or whatever, just a cromulent NHL player or hockey player who's going to kind of do what you need from him. But so this line, though, expected goals for 0.23, 0.4 expected goals allowed, 5-4 scoring chances for and allowed, 2-3 high danger chances, 4-2-2 for your zone starts. And then the Swede line of Zetterlund, Peterson, Lindblom played 634, had 4 shot attempts for, 6 allowed, 1-3 shot attempt, actual shots on goal, 0.07 expected goals for, 0.57 expected goals allowed. So this was by far the Sharks' worst line for them, where they were kind of getting worked and they were giving up good chances. Scoring chances 1-4 in favor of Vegas, 0-4 high danger chances. And the worst thing about this is they had great zone starts. They had 4 offensive zone, 3 neutral zone, and 0 defensive zone starts. You have to be worried if you're any one of these guys about where you are sitting, especially a guy like Lindblom and Peterson, where you are kind of sitting in the Sharks organization right now. And I know Lindblom still has $2.5 million and Zetterlund just signed a new contract. But that was not what you want to see from these guys, right? And especially in a game where you dominated, and yes, there's always going to be one line. There's always going to be the worst line, no matter what, right? In a game where you dominated, but this was the line that kind of got it taken to him. And you've been waiting for Lindblom to kind of do something, and he hasn't been able to. Same thing with Zetterlund, right? You've been waiting for Zetterlund to kind of do something, and he hasn't. Peterson, I thought, showed well at least last season, so I would like to keep him around. But it's not a great look for a night where you dominated Vegas in multiple facets, and you had a line with an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 21-year-old easily be your best line, and then these guys who've all played a fair amount of NHL games. Not a good look. So before we continue, talk about our good friend Kaapo Kahkonen and if he is ready to bounce back. Do need to take a quick break right now and talk to you guys about our good friends over at FanDuel. And if you want to snap into the action this NFL season, FanDuel's got you covered. They're America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. There's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So if you think about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is super easy to use. They have a bunch of different stuff like props, over-unders, spreads, whatever your little heart desires. I keep telling you to bet on Christian McCaffrey scoring a touchdown because Christian McCaffrey keeps scoring a touchdown. He's done it for 13 straight weeks. He's really good at it. I would just keep betting that. The Dolphins, my Dolphins, 10.5-point favorites against the Giants. I'm taking it. I think the Giants are poo-poo. And I think the Dolphins, yes, they played bad on Sunday against one of the best teams in the NFL, but I think the Dolphins are going to come out and lay the wood to the Giants. We saw the Giants play bad against the Seahawks, and I think the Dolphins are better than Seahawks. So I would take the 10.5 points if it was me. So right now, again, visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. All right. Is Kaapo Kahkonen ready to kind of have a bounce back season? Signs point to yes. He just looks like a different dude, and he had a great night tonight. Again, I think the Sharks did a good job kind of making life easy for him. He faced in all situations here. Only faced 18 shots, 6 high danger, 3 medium danger, 8 low danger shots. Goals against 0. Expected goals against 2.27. Again, all situations. He was just, I think you can just see he's just so much more cool, calm, and collected. And that is what I think you need from Kaapo Kahkonen, is just kind of being that cool, calm, collected player. His rebound control was excellent tonight. Made a bunch of great lateral moves, especially he got, did get tested a couple times on a few breakaway opportunities. Made great lateral moves to get over and stop the puck. And I think it's just for him just being kind of in the right place at the right time, and just kind of that's his game, right? Letting the game come to him is I think the best way to think about it with him. And I don't know if maybe Ryan Miller, who's an amazing goaltender in his career, having some effect on him, just saying like, just take a deep breath. Let's let the kind of slow things down, let the game kind of come to you. Maybe not challenge so much, maybe kind of stay back a little bit more in your crease. You're a big dude, right? Kaapo Kahkonen is not some tiny little guy. He's 6 foot, 6'2", so he's good size. Like, I think there's just a new confidence with Kaapo Kahkonen. He's going to have his bad moments. Yes, every goalie has their bad moments, and this is going to be a bad team for the Sharks relative, but I think there's an opportunity for Kaapo Kahkonen to kind of really find his career and find out what type of player he's going to be. And I wouldn't be surprised. I've kind of, as soon as the Sharks traded for Mackenzie Blackwood, I just kind of assumed Mackenzie Blackwood was going to be the guy. I think Kaapo Kahkonen has looked better. Again, I know this wasn't the most star-studded Vegas team, but he's answered the bell both games, right? I know Mackenzie Blackwood, he's going to get the start on Thursday against as the Sharks wrap up their preseason against the LA Kings. But like, Kaapo Kahkonen, like there's a chance Kaapo Kahkonen can kind of find his game. I think for him, just being himself, right, is a big thing. And just you see that he's just more confident, right, with those saves, especially those kind of those agility saves or that push off, and he just doesn't look like he's sweating as much, and like he's not having to work as hard. And that's the Sharks can figure out some answer in goal. That's one of the big questions for this year, right? Can you find an answer in goaltending? Even if the answer is no, like these guys aren't it, you need to keep searching. If you can find an answer, if Kaapo Kahkonen can be an answer, and that answer is yes, this would be huge for the Sharks as they kind of continue the rebuild and try to find a goalie who can potentially be that guy. I'm not locking up Kaapo Kahkonen for 8 years or anything like that, but give him another two-year deal. Okay, now the team's going to start to get a little bit better. Can you continue to raise your game as the team gets a little bit better? But he's been great this preseason. Seems like he had a really strong offseason. Maybe the new coaching has really helped him. I'm hoping Ryan Miller, sounds like Ryan Miller's been working with him every day, really trying to kind of get him back on track. Because again, he was a potential goalie of the future for the Wild, not that long ago. Former AHL goalie of the year, like the pedigree's there. It's not like they just found some dude who's been kind of some plucky underdog. Like there's a reason why Kaapo Kahkonen, was looked at as a potential goalie of the future. And I still think that's in there somewhere. It's in there somewhere. He's got this season to prove it. And I think we're going to see a big year from Kaapo Kahkonen. And Grant, it can't get worse than what we saw last year, right? Goalies are weird. You never know. But I think just having a save percentage starting with a 9 would be a huge lift for the Sharks in general. What's probably going to be a long season. So that's one of my goals for the team is just have a goalie with a save percentage over 9. That's not a goalie who just plays like 2 games, like with a big enough sample size where you have a goaltender with a save percentage over 9. So, but great night tonight. You got to feel really good as a Sharks fan. The future is just, it's going to be so good. The Sharks are going to be good again one day. I promise you guys, they will be good again one day. They have the pieces to be good again one day. And you beat Vegas. Perfect night again. The young kids looked great. You beat Vegas, and there's no points added so the tank is still on. The perfect night. So we will be back tomorrow. Maybe we'll do the sock up, sock down. Maybe we'll talk Alexander Barabanov. Who knows? Check back. We'll have something good for you. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, you can subscribe on YouTube as well. You can follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole and on Threads at MyFryHole. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Locked On Sharks. Until tomorrow, bye, friends.